Mohit Rajhans is here. We talk AI, and I'm going to flash back in time that we all can remember. Probably about 15 years ago, maybe 10, everybody was deep on Facebook. Twitter was probably just coming out. Facebook was the thing. You'd walk into the shoe store, you'd check in. Go to the mall, you'd check in. And you were finding people, you were snooping your exes, you were sharing your pictures of your vacation. It was a fun time on Facebook. And then we realized really, really quickly that it wasn't free. We realized really, really quickly that the product was not something that Facebook owed us. Now, I create that for you because ChatGPT and OpenAI recently changed a bunch of their rules around the way their 5.0 works and some of their sandbox development. If you don't use ChatGPT or anything else, it's kind of like the main screen that you've probably seen if you go there. But there are agents you can create, and one's sort of a preview test window, and one is a programming window where you give it instructions. And you used to be able to make those windows go online to get you answers. You can't anymore. And they didn't tell anybody. And so a lot of people went in to use their GPT that might be things like, I don't know, what's the best price for bananas? And now it starts making up things. It goes, oh yeah, I can't go live. In order to go live, you got to create a new GPT and you got to share it with yourself. Then you got to pin it to this and put it there because then you use it in the chat window. They don't owe us anything. And even though we are the client and paying or taking the free version, here's a reminder, much like Facebook back in the day, they're going to change things. They're not going to explain it. Their own help section, which is itself, doesn't know what's going on. And they owe us nothing, Mohit.
A lot to unpack, but I'm baffled by how quickly this generation forgets how bad technology used to be and how clear it was that these apps like Facebook and Google were building monopolies in real time and building our habitual behavior in terms of a user experience. Where we also had to get accustomed to was there was no customer support line. You couldn't call Google at any point and say to them, hey, could you remove that link because it's not Shane Hewitt me, it's Shane Hewitt somebody else. Or that Mohit Rajhans is a doctor in another place. He's not the same Mohit Rajhans who talks about technology. We've lived through all of this disconnect when we're trying to become a connected society. So now when you refer to things like ChatGPT and some of the user experiences that people are concerned about, it goes a lot broader than that because we've also started to become very accustomed to talking about ChatGPT as if everyone is using it and as if it's a utility in most people's lives. But I'll be honest with you, Shane, there's still a segment of the population that's afraid of it, that doesn't realize how much is being built in our everyday society. And it's actually a big part of why we're seeing everything from technology like chatbots to utility in our everyday phone systems.
Now, some of those chatbots have become much better, and yet autocorrect on my phone seems to be worse. So I don't know which way it's going. All I know is that people talk about automating things in their lives, and there doesn't seem like much automation that's actually happening. I mean, it could be sorting some things, it's kind of organizing, but it's not automating.
Right. The demystification that has to happen right now is that this is not actually AI. All of the information that you're dealing with online that seems like it's simulating an artificial intelligence actual interaction, what's really happening is it's all rooted in a bunch of data. It's just happening at a faster pace, and it's anticipating what your questions might be in that interaction. Where it gets tricky is that the people that came first to market, the big brands that went first to market with any of this technology, they're starting to realize that these hallucinations that happen are real. The people that are dealing with kids in kids markets on things like Fortnite, etc., it's becoming dangerous. And it's also leading to something that I've recently uncovered called chat phishing. Have you heard about chat
I
phishing?
have not.
Chat phishing is this new ability right now to actually spin out, pardon me, a bunch of chat related conversations that seem like they're happening in real time, but they're not. And so all of a sudden you feel like you're engaged in a familiar conversation on certain chat things that you're on, be it Snapchat or on Facebook Messenger. And then you realize, well, wait a minute, this isn't that person, or this is a spoof of a person I used to know. And that's what's happening. This technology is getting so great that they're able to actually clone and replicate at a pace that I've never seen before.
Okay, so the parallel I always look at is change the topic, change the clarity, is graffiti. If it's your house that gets graffitied, it's your house and your job to clean it up. If it's your fence that gets graffitied or the store owner, it's his job to clean up the graffiti. If the store is leased, it's the property owner's job to clean up the graffiti. Someone graffitis Facebook, Facebook doesn't seem to have that responsibility. Hate talk, graffiti, you name it, all that stuff. Whose problem is it when the bot or the AI goes sideways? Because it seems like digitally there is zero accountability.
And that is exactly the issue that we face right now. Whether we are as a country or as a society going to find any utility is yet to be seen. But the truth is that without the guardrails, we're heading into such disservice for what this technology can really do for us. We don't have accountability. You're seeing slimy salespeople trying to sell quote unquote artificial intelligence to businesses. They're breaking, they're not getting past a certain phase. And I think what we have to actually buy into is who are the companies that are willing to go down the road with us as a business, spend the 2 or 3 months it takes to learn the type of business tools that we need. Those are the types of people you want in your quote unquote AI space right now. What you don't want is just subscribing to all the things that are out there right now as a business and hope that some magic will happen. The truth is, these chatbots can do more detriment to your business if the customer service is actually wrong then they can benefit your business. And I think that's what a lot of people have to understand right now.
Okay, so that deals with whose fault is it? I think because the reality is the digital companies not their fault. I have a sneaky suspicion somehow this is going to get pinned on the citizens and the users because that's the way the government tends to make us clean up their messes. There's not a lot of oversight and protection generally anyway, so it's probably a moot conversation. But then there's kids using it every day. Tell me about the kids.
I think what I'm most concerned about is how quickly voice and chat interactions can be replicated to actually feed within kids' feeds on everything from gaming to Fortnite to even Roblox at this point. So I've heard my kids play video games with people that they're not friends with online based on being in group chats of fans of a Madden game or a sport game. And I can tell how contentious it already gets. What happens now when you've got a gaming system that's tied to an actual commerce system and a payment system? These are the protections that I'm worried about right now because there again is no number to call to disconnect or to try to refund. And there are repercussions involved with so much and so many layers of this that if parents don't know that these chatbots have become this sophisticated, they're definitely going to become victims at some point.
Okay, so what are the red flags that we have to watch out for then, bud? Because I mean, the reality is it's happening. How
Mhm.
do we know if how do we know we got a bad bot?
Well, first of all, I think that parents need to understand what systems are connected to what. I don't think many people realize, for example, that their kids might be downstairs interacting with other people online when they're playing video games or on their iPad. It's important to understand that even in an anonymous place online, if you think you don't have the control and the settings in the right control, go reset them right now. And the second thing is you got to talk to the kids and make them aware of how quickly these chatbots can go and get out of hand because obviously they don't refer to them as chatbots. They refer to them as interactions. So on each one of their actual platforms that you have the authority to actually supervise your kids on, go and do a quick refresh, figure out who they're connected with and how that information is being shared, because that's the immediate vulnerable place for where people can actually connect with them.
Do you let your kids do it?
My kids are fortunately old enough to be able to moderate themselves based on the gaming systems that they're in, but I have had to have the conversations with them about where anonymity lies in any of this, and that you can't have vulgar conversations with people just thinking you're never going to meet them. There's so many layers to how many different conversations you need to have with your kids about their experiences online. This is just one of them that's getting out of control very quickly. And I don't think a lot of parents are stopping and taking the time to realize that.
Thinkstart.ca, a lot there from the business perspective, the parent perspective, the kids perspective, but it really does matter. Trust, red flags, and so much more. Mohit Rajhans, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.